Merry Christmas. I have fought Crocs. I got kids, so Crocs are a big thing, but, like coming from the 80s rocker thing. My wife got me Crocs. Here we go. Merry Christmas, everybody. Everybody is doing stuff. My wife's asleep, so I figured I'd come out and mix that. A little instrumental tune called Unknown. The new Dano. Oh, good Lord. 12. I just love Danos, man. Guitars, acoustics, Les Pauls, Tele, Strats, Gretsch. And this is like the new thing. So all I do is I have this chair here that's for clients. I just kick it out of the way and I just walk in and out and I just grab my guitars. Yeah, there you have it. And very exciting having this twin sister. I've been like I said in the video, it'd been on my radar for about 6 months and finally just realized that I just hate rectifiers. I mean, just after all these years, I shouldn't say I hate them. I don't have a use for it anymore for what I do. So, and all these guys are set up with where they have effects loops, all set up. So I've got the Strymons and the Dimension C in the effects loop. These guys are in front. And Axe Effects. I took Axe Effects out of the loop. I had it through the loop, but I just, to simplify things and to not have everything connected. The power is cleaner. Yeah, there it is. This guy is right now plugged in, so it's running through a cab over here. And there's the new cab setup, which is much better. And, basses and baritones and my PV Forenza, which is an open E with high action for learning slide. And so I've made it a commitment to, I made a Christmas present to myself to start learning. I have a True Fire account, start doing lessons on different aspects of guitar and get myself back on a healthy track. I haven't been working out. My food's been funky. I haven't been drinking enough water, and I can feel it. So this is my present to myself. So here, let's fire this up and get a mix happening. Okay, so I just shot an entire video of mixing this song, and I had to blow it all out and delete it all out. I've been having a little weirdness with my computer. I think I need a fresh install, like blow the hard drive out. It's been 2 years or so. Because all of a sudden it was like that whole thing where the drums were flamming. It's that like where it starts losing its, what is it called? Delay compensation. And I took the bounce out to the truck and I'm like, I could hear it in here. And I was like, whoa. And I came back in here and like when I hit spacebar, it all went black. So I shut everything down, restarted it, and got that, like, I don't know we used to call it a kernel panic. It's like a little thing in like Japanese, like a little written thing, and underneath it in English says that there was some sort of a destructive shut off or something. Anyway, so there you have it. But, wow. But it's up and running. So I've got a couple of, I took the mix out to the car. I'll play a little bit and do some mixing. I already mixed it. I wanted to, but it just got so wonky. I just had to blow it all out. So I'll play it down a little bit. And then we'll talk about it. Anyway, so again, this is that little jam. I just called it Unknown because it was kind of unknown, and it's really my foray back into making music. That's kind of like, this riff is like, I wrote this when I was a kid, like 35, 40. I don't know when I wrote it, but I think I was really going through my kind of Jakey Lee, Yngwie, Akira Takasaki time. This guy. The funny thing is, like, now I've come a long way, even just in the last few weeks, with tracking and learning and kind of improving things. But this is my PT100 and Mark V. Yeah, a little quarter note, a little reverb, maybe a little split, like a little modulation on it, and it's all going through the guitar sub, which has the old wow thing on it. Yeah, so it's programmed. I programmed it with Superior, bounced it out, and then also put in trigger. So you'll see there's a kick trigger, which has just a bunch of kicks on it. This Andy Wallace kick is awesome. If anybody wants it, message me and I'll send it to you. It is really a nice kick. And then just a bunch of snares. So yeah, there's drums. The way I've got it going is the kick and the trigger are going into a kick sub, which has a little EQ on it, little channel on it, and then the old the clipper. The clipper on the tracks themselves are a little distressor action, little EQ, depending on what's going on. Snare and snare trigger are going out to the snare sub, which is also I just boosted a little. I just wanted a little bit more brightness. Again, the channel, the clipper, and then this is something I learned from Andrew Sheps. He likes that 220 bumped on this Neve 311107. I don't know what it's called, 31102, but it's really nice. And then I've got an L1 at the end, which is on a little bit on some of these. You'll see it's just maybe it's even working or not working. The toms here are bust out to the tom sub, which the toms have a little of this. I'll throw this here because I added that. And a little distressor. And then on the tom sub, it's again with the nothing. It's just very little. The clipper and the L. And then I have an overs here, which is nothing really. I did a little bit on the overs themselves. Yeah, not much. It's programmed, so it's pretty close to where I want it. Hats and overs are through overs, and then the room goes straight out to right out to the drum bus. Right, so then all of these four subs are going out to the drum bus, and then all four of these have a drum crush bus on, or like a fader on them that's sending it over to drum crush, which has a fatso on it, which is it's like a parallel compression just to give them some more energy. Then I've got just basically drum verb, which is just a Valhalla room, and then I have a snare verb, which is also Valhalla room, just a little bit set a little differently. So I've got basically the snare. Yeah, the snares are going over to the snare verb. And normally I would only put over the trigger, so you're not hearing all the ghosting, but because it's programmed, the snare is real clean. So then this would be the verb here for the snare, and then this would be for the rest of the kit. And that's it. It's really nice, right? And then I've got my basses, just DI, Sansamp, and Axe Effects. And then I've got them set over to the bass bus, which has, yeah, just a little bit of a boost at 60, a little boost at 5. This is important, the SSL bus on it. Yeah, just a little EQ, and yeah, really not even any limiting. And yeah, then this goes over to drum verb. I can bring this in. Sometimes you bring a little bass into the drum verb and it starts to feel more bassy, undulating with the drums. But I'm not using it on this. And then I've got a bass crush, which is coming off the DI, the bass DI. And then that's going to be Mammoth and Devil Lock, which you'll really hear that. So check it out as I. So, you know, that gives me that stinky, distorted, you know, sometimes back in the day I would mic an SVT and then also mic like a half stack, like a Marshall, and then just bring that Marshall in just to give it like the grit. So then here it is. Here's bass and drum. Kind of give it whatever stink I want. I can also automate the crush. Now on the mix bus, I've got just a little dip at 200. I think that was mainly for the guitars. Just felt a little, you know, so I just cleared out a little room. Here's my bus compressor, or my bus EQ, which is that Amec. This is like a 250, I think. I don't know what. I can't see. Jeez. Anyway, it's somewhere on here. Yeah, Amec EQ. This is like a Soundtech 250. Like I had a Soundtech for years. That's a great EQ, but a pain in the butt. They're old and they drift left, right, hard. And then an SSL bus compressor, and then at the end I put on. I ran an ozone down because a lot of what I do is send out to clients. I don't know, you just want the stuff to bang, man. Even if you just take it off to send to mastering, you just want it to bang for them, because they just, you know, I don't put expectations on people to understand what it's going to be like when it's loud and when it's mad or when it's, man, people, that's what I find. I waste too much time with that. I don't want to explain anything. Here it is. This is basically what it's going to sound like. If you send it to Bernie Grunham, it's going to sound like, you know, 5% or 8% better than this, but this is going to be where it's going to be, in the zone of it. So, yeah. And if you play a little bit of bass and drum, shut it off. It loudifies it. It loudifies it. If you have a big problem with all that stuff, you may want to find another career path. That's all I gotta say. Here are the main guitars left and right. Yeah. Stinky, right? Stinky. Good Lord. You hear that little quarter trail? Just a little bit. Maybe even a little eighth. No, it's just a little bit of quarter, a little bit of split harm like an H3000 modulation, and a little bit of just guitar verb. It's just real simple, which is probably just a plate. You know, there you go. Now you come here, and now we're into the midsection of it, the pre-chorus. Don't bore us, get to the pre-chorus. Right? So the left side, well, not fully left right, but on towards the left side is the 12 string. Just brings joy to my soul. And then the dip pressured on or leaned on the right is the tapping. going through this multi-band. Which remember, I dipped a little bit here to take a little bit of that pick off of. As opposed to EQing it, which just ducks it through the whole thing, this is just when it hits a certain threshold, it ducks it down. It takes a little of the ice pick out. You don't want to take it all out, though, because that's a part of what makes it feel like, you know, like 12-string Dan Electric kind of, Dan Electro, you know, Rickenbacker. With the main rhythm, the main arpeggio. And then realizing, like, so then the octave part really takes over as the lead, coming out of the like that suspension is the lead, then you go into the octave. Yeah, and this is still going through that guitar sub that has the wow thing on it. And this one's slightly panned right. And I've just got a little EQ on it. I just took a little of the weight off of it. And here it is. I'll shut off the keyboards. There you go. Now you go to the keyboards. Now from the beginning, you got the over the main guitar. Where am I? Oh. It's your main synth over the and then when it comes into the other part, the little like bridge part, it goes to that same but now played in a higher register, and then I go into those synth chords. Reminds me a little, yeah, it's the program's a little weird right there. I didn't clean anything up. I should have. But, you know, it reminds me a little bit of, let me get these all big. They'll all go big. And then we'll go here. It reminds me a little bit of the song from Napoleon Dynamite. I'm just going to leave it. It's fine. Yeah. It reminds me a little of whatever the 80s tune from Napoleon Dynamite. So that's it. So what I'll do, I'll run it down the whole thing. You can hear it. It's just 2 minutes. It's just the 2 parts, but you can take it in. That's the basic mix. I brought in all my effects. I only used a couple of things. I've got a grit track that I have on a few things, which has decapitator, and I've got a boom track, which is on a few things like kick and bass, which is like the leap wing root tone subharmonic generator. But I've been using the other one. I've been using the red one. The what is it? Is it this? Yes, this guy. But I pulled this up and it just kept it. I didn't touch it. So there you go. I've got a music bus and crush. I've got a bass bus and crush, and I've got a drums crush and bus and crush. So here we go. Unknown from the top. Enjoy. Wow. All right, so what I'll do is, you know what I'll do? I'm going to put this video together, and I'll have a folder in the description with these tracks all separated. So you'll have kick in, you'll have kick trigger, you'll have snare top, snare trigger, you have all your toms, you'll have your different basses, whatever, DI, sans, axe. You'll have all your guitars separate. You're going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. They're kind of named weird, but 1 and 2 are like left, and 3 and 4 are right, which normally I would go 1A, 1B, but it just is what it is. And then you'll have this 12 string. You'll have the tap. You'll have the octave. And you will have also all of the keys. Everything will be separated. But again, keep in mind you're going to have guitar 1, 2, and then 3, 4. So you know what I'll do? I'll rename them. I'll call them like 1A, 1B, and then 2A, 2B. And then you know that those are groups. It's one performance. All right? So y'all have a good Christmas. I did this while wearing Crocs. Don't be a hater. It's crazy. I've never owned Crocs before. But, I got kids, and even my wife wears Crocs. We got to get some for the dog. A Merry Christmas. And, this is it. So now I'm on a roll. So I'm going to start making tracks. I think I'm going to write some, real songs, with lyrics and, and do vocals and maybe do some trippy harmony stuff. I mean, that's kind of what separates me from all the guitar guys, because most of them just do, guitar instrumental stuff. So, yeah, I'll throw something down like, I don't know, something trippy, Incubus style or something. I don't know. No. Who knows? Merry Christmas.